We're back. What's up, everybody? We're back. Nuts and bolts this week. Same crew as last week. Let's get into it. The game's about to start. Ka-chow! You're tuned in to Nuts and Bolts. We're doing a watch party of the Saints versus the Chargers here. Final preseason game of the season. We're about to get into it, but first, let me introduce to you Tony Tucker, ladies and gentlemen. And the instant replay, David. Yeah.
This standing room only crowd is intense tonight, Mike.
They are just showing warm-ups. They had Jasir Taylor on the screen. You missed it, Tony.
No, I just saw it. Remember, I'm about 7 seconds behind you.
Okay.
I'm not worried about Jasir. He's making this team. He's too good to not be on the special teams and back up. At least be a depth DB. Like we feel better about him. Dean Leonard in that first week, that was rough.
It was rough, especially with, the penalties, man. Those kill us. But that's what I was about to get into. So, David, and we'll go back to you, Tony, if you want to shout out some more players. Any players that you're watching, bubble players that are on the bubble to make this roster or not, anyone that you're watching specifically pretty closely tonight?
I'm hoping to see a little bit of Jamari Salyer in there. And I can't pronounce his name. The D tackle. Otito, that guy. Yeah. I want to see some work from him too. I want to see who on the D line is going to take Jerry Tiller's job.
That's some Fajoko stuff right there. Tony, anyone you're specifically watching?
I'm rooting for Jamal Davis. He had a really good performance. I rewatched some of that last week, and he had a couple tackles for loss, which was nice. He doesn't really seem to flash, or whatever the right word is that you want me to say, as far as rushing the passer, but he does a really nice job with containing the run. Like, I never see him getting too far upfield, which is fine, and I think we definitely could use that at edge. I was just thinking about last year where it was like Nwosu was number 2. It's like to what it is now, and I'm like, is there a big drop-off between Jamal Davis and Uchenna Nwosu?
I think that they play off the same juice, right? They play off of that insane athleticism for their position, and it's very similar play style, actually.
Yeah,
they're almost on the same number.
I would say that, and I want to see Bandy. I want him to be the preseason MVP, where it is undeniable that they are like, if we put this guy on waivers or try to put him on our practice squad, somebody's taking him.
Yeah,
like, Belichick is looking at Bandy being like, practice squad, Bandy, you'll look good in a Patriots 83 jersey. Wes Welker all over again.
They're just waiting over there. Yeah, I'm interested to see who that 6th receiver could be if they do carry a 6th receiver on the roster. Bandy's probably in the running. We've seen Jason Moore. I don't think Joe Reed's in the running, I'll tell you that, but we'll see how that goes. I'm watching the RB2 spot. Obviously, I think it's Isaiah Spiller. Isaiah Spiller's a little banged up, not playing tonight, which is going to open it up for Letty Brown. It's going to open it up for Roundtree to get some more carries. I think Joshua Kelly right now probably is leading that race as far as the RB3 behind Spiller. But I'm going to be watching it closely because if someone impresses, I think that's something that is still kind of open. And then I want to see the ball in Xander Horvath's hands in this freaking game. I think he's making the roster. Sorry to Gabe Neighbors. We know that you're Herbert's roommate. You can still be Herbert's roommate. Nothing wrong with being his roommate from the practice squad. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm sure Herbert would love for you to keep making briskets with them after the Chargers win on Sundays. So, yeah, I think it's going to be Horvath, but I want to see him touch the football. I don't think he's touched the football yet this preseason, has he?
I think he's got a couple carries.
Carries? Okay.
Not a lot, though.
Just nothing significant that stands out in my mind yet. But anyways, let's check out the chat here. Everyone that is here and tuned into the live, feel free to hop in the chat and leave anything that you're thinking. Please let us know. Which players are you guys watching out for tonight? None of the starters playing, of course. So backups most likely. Look out for those guys. Athir is here. Tony and Mike, I'm excited about the show. I have important questions. Fire those questions up. Athir, we're ready. Herbert, MVP. Bull fam, let's ride. I like it. Exercise these demons. basically a regular here on the channel now, saying I'm not interested in MVP awards. I want to see our defense crack the top 10. He's just saying that Herbert's going to win MVP. That's all. Exercise these demons. You don't need to go off on our boy Athier here. Good evening, America. Ready for some football? Because NASCAR race ain't starting. Oh. and he's in Great Britain. He's not even in America. But good evening, America.
Welcome back, Bal.
My boys. There you go. Tony, you got your biggest fan in the chat here, Athier.
Athier. Love to see it.
Let's go, Carlos. Both these teams, the Saints and the Chargers, 0-2 in the preseason. Something's got to give. One of these teams are winning a game in this preseason game tonight.
Carlos, did we take a picture at the preseason game? Just a quick yes or no. I took a picture with some fan, but I may have had a couple of adult beverages in my system at the time, and they told me their name, and I want to say it was like Pablo or Carlos. I have the picture, but I don't remember the name of the person. Anyways, questions. Nope, it wasn't Carlos. It wasn't. So now I'm going with Pablo.
It was not Carlos. Yeah, Pablo, if you're out there, man, say what's up. Tony misses you. I'm excited. I am excited. I think Ethan from the backseat said that backseat pod said he was going to join us as well. I haven't checked my phone, but that was earlier in the day. I sent him the link. So maybe we could get 4 Chargers fans on the screen together for this watch along. I can't wait. I think this is a final, like, hey, if you're going to make it on special teams, make a play on special teams type of moment for some of these guys, because special teams has been icky to watch. Icky. And I talked about in the beginning of the preseason, Tony, remember one of our preseason previews? I was like, I want to see good special teams. It's on my short list of things I want to see.
Well, everything you said in that first show, Mike, it's been the opposite. I want to see team games with no penalties, and I want to see immaculate special teams. It's been the exact opposite so far in the first 2 games. This is the way that I look at it. They're playing almost 0 starters in these games, right? Which still isn't good, because at some point these players are supposed to be depth pieces or backing them up on some level, which kind of bums me out a little bit. But I'm not overly worried. I saw some people on Twitter last week saying crazy stuff like, well, Staley's job's in jeopardy after 2 preseason games. Like, are we seriously having this conversation when they don't have Bosa, Mack, Derwin? None of these players are on the field for defense. JC, none of them are on the field. And we're talking about this man's job being in jeopardy. So
New Orleans Saints.
I'm enjoying this. I'm having fun. I love the crazy reactions.
Yeah, and to me, like, it's not even starters or non-starters. They're not even playing like anyone over the age of like 26. These are all young guys. It makes sense that they're making a lot of mistakes. It makes sense that we're missing a lot of tackles when everyone is in their first couple years in the league, and only preseason players typically, so they don't have any experience as players in the league either. And the mistakes have been piling up. But yeah, we're not even playing any veterans. Like guys like Bryce Callahan haven't seen the field in the preseason. And he's not like the superstar corner that we have to protect at all costs. You know, we want to keep him healthy, but Staley is being very cautious with the veterans. There's no one even out there to lead them as a veteran. Chase Daniels, that's the guy.
Dad to answer your question, 1 carry for 2 yards.
For Horvath?
For Horvath, yeah.
Okay,
in week 1.
I want to see a screenplay to him. See how he does.
And that was our check-in with statistician David, the instant replay from TikTok, everybody.
Oh, man. And I have the touchdown animation queued up. So I want to play that damn thing. And I want to play that damn thing soon. So hopefully we get the opening kickoff, take it down the field.
You know, this NFL Plus app is not great.
Oh.
I'm constantly like just closing it and opening it and closing it and opening it because I'm signed in and I paid the $30 for the year, and it tells me you need to upgrade.
You need to upgrade your phone, or you need to upgrade the app?
I need to upgrade my subscription.
Dan Fouts in New Orleans.
We'll go marching on the field. Da-da, da-da.
Yeah, I don't care about the Saints at all. I have not done any research on anyone. I don't know who's playing. All I know is that Ian Book and Chris Olave are going to be out there. That's it.
Olave is going to play in this?
Actually, not even sure.
Okay, because you freaked me out for a second. I was like, Lance McCutcheon was on his way to the Hall of Fame after 1 week against the backups here. Chris Olave could be feasting.
Yeah, Olave had a good week last week against, I think it was Green Bay that they played. He had a touchdown. He had a couple catches. That's something we haven't talked about online yet. We haven't talked about on the air yet, Tony. Let's talk about this J.C. Jackson thing. We haven't talked about it yet. News breaks, J.C. Jackson, 2 to 4 weeks. We were shitting ourselves, to excuse my French, but we were losing our minds when we just see it pop up out of nowhere. J.C. Jackson missed practice today, undisclosed injury. And then they just went silent on us for like a good 24 hours. We're like, what the heck? Are you guys going to say anything? We're just going to keep it like this and keep everyone in the air and confused. Comes out that he was born with something to do with his ankle, needed a small minor procedure to get it done. Staley has emphasized multiple times at the mic that this is not an injury, that this is something that they just wanted to get done for JC's comfort. They didn't even have to get done, but they wanted to get it done before the season started. Thoughts on this, Tony? Thoughts on the timing of it? They said they found out about it 2 weeks ago, so they could have technically gotten it done 2 weeks ago. A lot of theories that Staley wanted him out there for the joint scrimmages just to get that chemistry and get some time in the scheme, get some work in before he got that surgery. And are you afraid of possibly not having J.C. Jackson in week 1 versus the almighty team that sent us home last year?
No, zero fear. Obviously, you want him on the field, but this is all like timing, right? Because as long as it wasn't like, oh, hey, in the scrimmage, he tweaked something and it was like meniscus, knee, whatever. Like if we're literally just waiting for like a scab to finish healing so that he doesn't tear something, like it's not doesn't become bigger than it is, then I'm okay with it. It does kind of suck that we play on Thursday Night Football right away. So it's like if he misses week 1, it's not like he gets a full another week before we see the Chiefs on Sunday. That's Thursday Night Football. But it's going to be the beginning of the season. There's going to be bumps out there. And both of the corners who are starting played in this system last year, right? And so maybe instead of putting JC on an island with Devontae and seeing how that goes, maybe now you put Chris and you put Vato and somebody else on him at the same time. Like that's the adjustment that needs to be made. But if Waller's not out there, now all of a sudden, who's Derwin? We're not shadowing Foster Monroe. Like that's it's not like, oh no, Darren Waller's out here. Foster Monroe's on the loose. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I think we probably better served taking that coverage towards Hunter Renfro's way if we need to put extra coverage anywhere. What's your thoughts, David? Any panic here with this J.C. Jackson news?
I was right there with you. I was panicking when there was no news. There was news, but no news. And right now, no. I liked what Brandon Staley, he kept reiterating, this is not an injury. I need you guys to know this is not an injury. So, I'm optimistic that he'll be out there week 1, as long as, his wound heals as fast as it can. But no, especially with Waller possibly being out, I think we're going to be just fine. And a lot of people I've noticed on different social media platforms and stuff like that have been commenting on J.C. Jackson being out and how last year we had Mike Davis and Asante Samuel out there and people were cooking us, but we didn't have the pass rush that we have now. We didn't have the interior D-line that we have now, which is going to put a lot more pressure on that quarterback and a lot less pressure on that secondary. So that's why I'm not worried.
Yeah, and
hang on real quick. Were they getting cooked last year? Like, I don't remember the stats, but Derek Carr, was he the reason we lost that game?
No,
was he cooking him?
No.
What kind of memory is that?
Yeah,
I don't remember Derek Carr doing anything. I remember a lot of shitty calls on Chris Harris, pass interference to give them a 1-yard score before halftime. More bad special teams play, more bad right tackle play, more 18-yard touchdowns because we decided to go for it on our 13-yard line or whatever it was in the second half. I don't remember that being dominated. I'm going to grab a beer. I'll be right back.
Grab it. Fire that question away at Theory. You don't have to ask a question. Just ask the question. Yeah, just ask the question. Carlos, what's up? Yeah, he agrees with us. Yeah, I'm with you guys. I'm not panicking too much. We're kicking off here. Pumped to see it. There he goes. Bam! Just kicked off on my screen. How far are you behind me?
I'm still having trouble is what I'm having.
Okay, when you get online, let me know because I want to try and line them up. Jameis Winston coming onto the field right now. Jameis Winston starting this game. First action of the preseason. Jameis looks good. He looks in shape, man. He looks good. I'm proud of Jameis. Alvin Kamara's on the field as well. I don't see Michael Thomas out there. Let's see. Marquez Callaway. Jarvis Landry's out there. The Saints have everyone except for Michael Thomas in the field right now as their starting offense.
I'm switching over to my computer screen now. The NFL Plus is finally starting to work.
And the Chargers don't have a single starter on the field. The Saints offense have their entire starting lineup, and the Chargers don't have a single starter on the field. This will be a fun first drive, I'll tell you what. JEO has a question for Athir. Fire that away as well, JEO. Y'all keep asking about asking questions. Just send them questions, all right? Just send them.
Yeah, this is the Athir chat, and the Athir chat means it's always open, so you can send whatever you want.
Open.
I just watched the penalty get called.
Yeah, that's good. We'll see how
Was
James
it Trevor
plays.
Penning? Because there's Chargers Twitter is like they're gonna have a field day with that.
We have our fourth Chargers fan, Ethan, from the back seat in the house. Hello.
Hey, what's up?
What do you think here? Defense got him in a 2nd and 17 or 2nd and 15 against the starting Saints offense.
Okay, we're at the same spot. I'm surprised the Saints are playing starters. Like, why is Jarvis Landry in this game?
And Kamara.
This is their dress rehearsal, though, right? Like, this is their first time that Jameis and all of them have been together.
And by the way, I said it when he first came on the field. Jameis looks like he's in shape, man. And they're great.
It's because he's been laying off the dubs.
Get out of here with that silver and black bullshit. Get out of here. If we beat Ants, I'll piss myself laughing. If we beat the Ants. Not even calling them the Saints. It's calling them the Ants.
The Aints.
The Aints. Sorry. I'm messing up too. If the right tackle situation goes bad week 1, do you see Coach Staley pulling the trigger in week 2 to start a filler in week 2? I think the only trigger that could be pulled at there is moving Matt Filer over, but I think that they're probably going to rock with Trey Pipkins, good or bad, and just try and make it work.
Just like they did last year.
Exactly.
The only time they would make a change is during the bye week. I feel like last year proved Staley isn't going to make any change because they didn't change the horrible special teams play until bye.
Glad you guys were able to stop the opening kickoff. What are you even talking about? You just came here to hate? We didn't show up to any Raiders streams, or did you guys? Maybe. I showed up to a few.
I would never do that.
I sat in on one and made fun of the Raiders for 2 quarters. So
how would that go? Were they getting pissed?
It would have been better if they would have been losing. It was tough to talk shit about a team that was, for as bad as they are, playing okay.
Patrick's back to Jameis there. I'm looking for the small wins in these.
Come on, Kemp. This is kind of brutal to watch right now because if it wasn't for 2 penalties, they would have scored 3 touchdowns already. Like this is.
I mean, it is their first team offense versus our second team defense. I mean, I feel like this is expected.
And like 3rd team defense, really.
Yeah, because Rump isn't even out there
on the field right now.
Yeah.
Who is?
Rump?
Sebastian. I think his name is Brandon Sebastian.
Oh yeah. I thought you meant SJD, and I was like, he's not playing in this game.
No. The corner.
Yes. Yeah. I know you're talking about.
This offensive line is bullying the backup defensive line of the Chargers right now.
Yeah, and Chris Rump isn't even out there, Tony. Like, I don't even know if Chris Rump is playing in this game.
No. I don't think he's going to play. I think it's going to be the guys like Jamal Davis, Carlo Kemp, the guy they got from the USFL. I might be messing up his first name, but I think his last name is Kemp. He had a sack last game or a tackle for a loss.
He had 2 batted balls as well.
Oh,
Big
yeah. If he would have calmed himself on that second one, he would have had it.
Tony, what's your thoughts on the right tackle situation? If things are going bad, will Staley pull the plug on it? Athir wants to know.
No. you have to give him at least the quarter of the season, because there's some like world that people live in where it's like, oh, well, we'll just buy and fix every single problem in one offseason. And that's just not possible. And Trey Pipkins is there. And if he has a good year, then you might be able to say, we're going to put this guy under contract have our right tackle and our left tackle figured out for the next couple years. That's if he does good. If he doesn't, then they'll address it. We've already seen them go back-to-back offensive linemen in the draft, and maybe next year's free agency, they do just look for a right tackle or trade for a right tackle that's available. But I can't see them. I can't see him being like, well, we're going to switch and totally crush your confidence.
And switch to who at this point?
Alex Leatherwood.
Yeah, we don't really have very many options. We ain't bringing Leatherwood in, I'll tell you what.
He's first-round pedigree, guys.
I will say, Tony, we almost did buy and fix every problem, though. Almost.
Yeah. But that's the thing is, like, we paid to fix the defensive line, we paid to get Joey Bosa help, and paid for the defensive backs. But then everybody was like, well, we also need Jamison Williams speed, and we need the tackle, the best right tackle in all of football. Like, we couldn't get it all.
I also think people aren't considering the cap number for next year. We're already $24 million in the hole. Like, it's going to be rough who we're going to have to cut next offseason. Like, I'm ready to put money on it. Keenan Allen's done after this year. His cap hit is 19.
Don't say that.
I mean, his cap hit is – we saved 19 letting him go. We're currently in the red 24. Like,
I would like you
with
to
Davis
direct all your hate mail to Ethan from the back.
His handle's in there.
Yeah. No, I'm a season ticket holder. I'm a huge Chargers fan. I'm from San Diego.
No, I get it. I understand what you're saying mathematically, and especially if Palmer takes that step.
I just don't see where else the money's going to come from, because with Michael Davis taking over the number 2 corner role, I don't think they're going to be quick to cut him into next offseason if he's a competent starter, especially with his cap only being $9 million.
I would rather cut Michael Davis than Keenan Allen for sure. But it just comes down to how they can finagle the cap space. We're seeing what they're doing across town in the LA Rams front office, and they're going into the negative every year, and they somehow figure it out. And the team we're playing here, the Saints, like the last 10 years, they've been in the negative every single year, like 40 mil, and they somehow figure that out. But we'll see. It just depends, I guess, on the results of the season too, how the receiving core does, how Keenan does, and how far we go into the playoffs, because we need him. I wonder if he's like, I've made my money, I'm willing to take a pay cut at this point.
Well, there's the other thing that I keep wondering to myself is, what if we all think that Justin Herbert's going to get a big deal next offseason, but what if he waits? What if he takes another year to sign that? And I know that would be bad news for the Chargers, because that number will just continually go up. Like, the best thing they could do is to sign that contract next summer, next offseason, because in 2024, that number will be approaching $53-55 million a season. So maybe they wait, and then that helps out next year's issues too.
I mean, actually signing him an extension next year helps us more, because then you push the signing bonus over the continuation of the entire contract. Like, that's why Derwin's cap hit went down this year, because of now he has a long-term extension, so the cap hit gets spread out amongst them all. So technically you want the cap like help. You really want him to sign it earlier, but then his original signing bonus gets stretched. That's kind of the idea.
So it'll stretch out over his final 2 years of his rookie deal too, is what you're saying?
Yeah. So like Patrick Mahomes, like his signing bonus on the 10-year $500 million deal or $500 million deal was over the 12 years, because he signed it with 2 years over the rookie contract.
Yeah.
The bonus is stretched out over 12 years instead of 10. So that's like when people say like, oh, you want to sign an extension now, it's because then you get to spread out that signing bonus across. Like Derwin James got whatever the portion of his 4-year deal this year, so his cap hit isn't as big in year 4 or 3 and 4.
All right.
Besides the Demons, Jesus. If Herbert doesn't sign next year, it'll mean he's looking to move to a team that'll guarantee him a ring. Herbert is not leaving.
Stop.
Don't even say that, Ball. Don't even say that.
Yeah.
Oh, they got
why?
Andy returning kicks. They're trying to keep him on the team.
If Tom Telesco let Herbert walk, I think Tom Telesco will be walking out right behind him.
I think that's what he said, actually. He said something in an interview where he was like, they'd probably trade me first or something. Or maybe that was about Josh Allen with the Bills GM.
I know they talked about it a few months ago on the Pat McAfee show, and Telesco was on the Pat McAfee show.
Oh, and he was saying that if Herbert goes anywhere, then he's gone?
I think – well, no, what you just said. They'd probably get rid of me first.
Oh, yeah. That was a good return by Bandy. Just saw it.
Yeah, they're trying to keep him on the team. Is this Horvath?
I mean, I haven't really noticed or seen DeAndre Carter hasn't been back for any kicks, punts, or kickoffs that I've noticed. So maybe he is the wide receiver 4 to some extent, and they want to
starter. They're not trying to get him injured. Staley,
Yeah.
I mean, how Staley shows the preseason is no starters play. So if you're a starter, you're not there, and if he's the starter,
he's been playing though.
Yeah, he's on the field right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a starting receiver.
Oh,
He's the starting kick returner, so there's no competition.
I get what you're saying.
What I'm saying, like, he's fighting for the wide receiver, I guess 5 or 4 role, but he's not fighting for kick returner, so they don't need to put him back there.
Horvath got the ball, Tony.
He did.
They're tuned in on the sideline.
They talked to Staley this week at some point about Steven Anderson and the versatility that he did as far as playing up back and playing tight end. And I wonder how much they visualize keeping potentially Gabe Neighbors and Horvath, right?
I hope not.
I don't
see the reasoning.
I mean, because that's what Trey McKitty is supposed to be. The idea is Trey McKitty is going to become Steven Anderson, I think. But where are you guys in the game? Did you just see that? What just happened?
I saw the Carter sweep. Right now we're lining up for 3rd down here. 3rd and 3.
Yep.
I won't say anything.
I just hit 8 minutes right now.
And Daniel can't move at all. I mean, we are playing the starting Saints defense too. Demario Davis on the stack.
Oh boy.
Demario Davis walks up to Chase Daniel and lightly puts him on the floor.
Staley's looking across to Dennis Allen like, come on, man.
Yeah.
See, this is where I wonder where the breakdown is on this play right here, because you had Pipkins and Zion on that side, and they had 3 players, and 2 of them hesitated, and Davis just went nuts, and Zion is going like this, and Pipkins is going like this, and neither one of them put a hand on Demario Davis. You guys not watching NFL Top 100? Demario Davis is in it. Put a hand in it.
And Callaway just took a business decision there and fair caught that with no one around him. But I think that was a first op blitz right there, Tony, by Demario Davis. He just kind of hovers around the line of scrimmage, stays in coverage, and then the second he sees an opportunity that he thinks he can get the quarterback, that's when he takes off. So just playing with our O-lineman there a little bit. Yeah. Right, we got another question here. Perfect timing during the commercial. Okay, Tony, if you make a trade, Keenan or Mike for Chase or Jefferson, this is crazy, Athir, by the way. I will give up Keenan for Jefferson. Sure, yeah, let's do that. I don't go around. Any other takes here? This is a crazy question, Athir.
I would trade them both for Jamar Chase.
There you go, Tony.
That's hard.
No, I'm of Justin Jefferson 1,000% over.
Yeah.
David.
Here's what I'm going to say, Athir.
For the tie.
These are my guys. Keenan and Mike to the end.
Untradeable.
Jefferson and Chase.
That's what I'm saying. It's not a matter of skill at this point. It's a matter of just loyalty to those two wide receivers. It's hard for me to just say those words.
Really?
This
It's
is
not
like-
that hard for me. Jamar Chase is already a top 5 receiver in the league.
I
This
think
is
Jefferson
like my
is
wife
too.
saying like J-Lo or option B, and it's like no, it's option U all the time, honey, because
Exactly.
none of those things are going to happen. So why would I even want to? Why would I even want to go down this road? You just don't say that kind of stuff. Keenan and Mike, those are my guys. That's who I'm sticking with. Super Bowl celebrate Arizona 2023.
We got a commercial break here. Yeah, Mike Williams and Keenan Allen will each have a touchdown in the Super Bowl this year. I don't care. I don't care about Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson at that point.
I was
Joe,
gonna,
yes.
Unless we're playing against Jefferson. Go ahead, Tony.
I was gonna pull a clip. I don't know the guy's name, and I don't even know what show it was on. They played the clip on NFL Live or one of the shows I had on today. They were showing somebody talking about an offensive lineman who played with Peyton Manning and Ben Roethlisberger, and he said, I went to Chargers camp, and I saw Justin Herbert, and he's the best quarterback I've ever seen.
I was just telling Mike about that earlier.
I was like, okay, now we have legit like people who played in the NFL who are like, oh, I saw these things. My thing is like, you'll never be able to, we can't evaluate where Justin Herbert can ever get to the intellectual part of football games, but just watching them side by side, we all agree that he's the most talented out of those three, correct? Like just watching the running ability, the size, the arm talent. Like, I don't think that's the question to me. The question is more like, will he ever get to the football IQ of Manning and Roethlisberger? There we go.
Those were some real words that man said about Herbert. I mean, you're comparing him to first ballot Hall of Famers, multi-time Super Bowl winners. Mark, welcome to the channel. Mark Matlock. Appreciate you. This is a good time to remind everybody, subscribe, like the video. Help us out a ton. We haven't really said that enough on today's show.
Cheers, Mark.
But yeah, Ethan, did you see that quote?
I think you muted yourself.
Test 1 2. Oh, we can't hear you right now. We got technical difficulty.
Oh, that's why.
There you go.
Okay, now can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I actually turned off my microphone. Yeah, I saw the quote. I mean, a lot of that stuff is just like gas him up. I mean, I hope he reaches that pinnacle, but I felt the same way about all those years of Phillip Rivers and we didn't end up with a ring. So like, I want a Super Bowl so bad at this point. So if he wins one, then I'll be right on board. But I mean, I know he's one of the best players I've ever like seen play out of year number 2. He passes the eye test. So I feel like anyone can see that, but he's got to win a Super Bowl to reach the pinnacle of those kind of guys.
It's time. David, you got to take on this one?
No, I agree with Ethan. I think he passes the eye test, obviously. He's one of the best players in the league. He's going to shoot himself. I think he's going to shoot himself into the top 3 in the league this year. But until you win MVPs like Peyton Manning has and Super Bowls like him and Ben Roethlisberger both have, you just got to wait.
Yeah.
I gotta say 90 has been flashing on this drive. His last name's Brown. I don't know his first name. He's showing a lot of burst.
Yeah, he's not making it.
No, he's not making it. He was the guy with the big run stop early on where you said, oh, wow. No, he's not making it. I mean, I don't even think Fehoko or Gaziano is making it either. I think people are gassing themselves up that they're going to cut Tillery.
Well, if anything, I think that Tillery is somebody that you would try to trade. You wouldn't just outright cut first round ability.
Yeah, I mean, if he's not worth it, I mean, who's going to trade for him? It's like Alex Leatherwood. The Raiders are about to cut him. He was a first round pick a year ago. Tillery's it's been 3 years. I mean, who's going to trade for Tillery at this point? He's just not good.
But Tillery's at least shown a little bit of what he can be, right? Like Tillery's had moments. I don't think Alex Leatherwood had a game last year where anybody was like, oh yeah, he's a guy we could work with.
I don't think Tillery really has either. I mean, yeah, he's had sacks, but like to be quite
honest, I mean, he's basically a third down situational pass rusher at this point. I mean, he can't stop the run. And if you need a guy on the field every down, he's a liability. There's a reason the Chargers weren't in the playoffs last year. And it is directly for the Raiders just running at Tillery over and over again.
It's an actual thing. I don't think Tillery's going to get cut either, though. I think that he's probably going to make it into the season and play this year with us, and then we'll let him go in the offseason.
For sure. That's what I think.
I would rather trade him, obviously, because I'd rather get something out of him. I mean, the Raiders probably are trying to shop Leatherwood right now. It just comes down to if they can get a deal done. I think that it is also something that Tillery is playing here on the Chargers, where Staley has a bunch of connections to defenses out there. So maybe someone will want him. I know the Browns were showing interest, according to the Browns beat reporters. The Chargers beat reporters didn't say the same thing, though.
I mean, yeah, I would love to trade him. If you could trade him, that'd be the best case scenario.
Yeah.
But I don't really think it's in the cards. I don't think and the other thing is, if an NFL team thinks we're going to cut him, then why trade for him? Then just sign him off the street.
Is that a big play by JT? Nope, he missed it, man. JT Woods has been disappointing this preseason. I can't lie, Tony. Yeah, he's been in position to make so many plays, and he just misses it. He just swings and misses.
It hasn't been what I hoped for. That's for sure.
He could have 3 picks and a couple tackles for a loss in this preseason.
I think that there is something about some of these younger guys that they can be elevated by playing with the first team, right? There'll be less on them, less expectation, covering less ground. It just feels a little discouraging if they ever had to come in and accept a bigger role.
Yeah, because the faith is not being built here for me. We're already down 14-0. What a great start from our Bolts here.
I hope you didn't work too hard on that touchdown.
We're going to get one.
Animation.
We're going to get one. Don't worry. We're going to get one. We'll be live here a little bit longer. Try and get a touchdown.
Oh, if we're waiting for a touchdown, we might be here in the second half, because if they leave their first team defense out again, I don't imagine it going much different.
Especially because Palmer isn't even playing on our offense. We're so decimated. I mean, Trey McKitty might be the best pass catching offense person right now.
It's Michael Bandy.
Yeah, it might be Michael Bandy. That's a good point.
Bandy season.
I was going to say, who's ready to feel awful for Bandy when he gets cut, when the Chargers decide to keep 4 running backs instead of...
Oh, that would be...
I was talking about it earlier that he will end up on somebody's team, and Belichick will be champing at the bit for a guy like that. Or somebody is going to take him and turn him into a decent slot receiver. Danny Amendola carved out a career doing basically the same thing that we've been watching him do in the preseason. There's a spot for him to get some quality snaps and minutes around the league.
Mark is saying, is Mark Ingram better than Larry Roundtree? Yes.
Yeah.
Short answer. Yes.
I think every team's third running back is probably better than Larry Roundtree.
You just said Rex Burkhead is better than Larry Roundtree.
Rex Burkhead is better.
1,000%. I mean, ask the Chargers last year how good Rex Burkhead is.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm simply clarifying so everybody knows what you're talking about. The first third string running back that came to my head was Rex Burkhead, and I was like, yeah, you're right. This is what he's talking about.
Yeah. I would almost make the same exact argument for Joshua Kelly, but I think Kelly's going to be a little bit better this year. But based on what he's shown in the past, I would almost say the same thing. But I think he's going to be better this year. I don't want to hate on Joshua Kelly too much because he's looked good in the preseason. So
I was heartbroken with the downward slope he took after those first 2 weeks in 2020.
Yeah.
Heartbroken.
I mean, he's such a nice guy.
Yeah.
I will forgive him when I can forgive him, because he's done something greater than fumbling on the 1-yard line versus the Chiefs.
That one hurt so bad.
That was the worst thing I may have ever seen. Oh my gosh. He just reckless, trying to jump over the pile and everyone's standing straight up. Okay, fire that question away, Athir. We're waiting for you. Kenyon Drake?
1000%.
Yeah, maybe we should bring Kenyon Drake over if the Raiders don't get a deal done with him.
I just got a notification. Trevor Penning got carted off.
Oh, they're going to, I think.
Yeah.
I think teams were
No,
talking.
he was already cut. He's a free agent right now.
Oh, he's a free agent.
He was cut this week.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought I saw somewhere that he was the cut down to 80. He was already on the street.
Well, speak of the devil. Larry Roundtree got a 7-yard run.
Nice.
There it is.
If I talk enough trash about him, maybe he'll become good.
I got a question for you guys. If this player is somebody that's a fringe roster spot or practice squad player, just assume he's a roster lock. Who's one player that you guys are most excited to see in week 1?
So, like guys that are already starting lineup guys?
Sure, yeah.
Woohoo!
Anybody.
Khalil Mack, 100%. Khalil Mack, without a doubt, is my.
Wait, you guys got to watch this. The next play. I'm a little ahead of you guys.
Oh, we're gonna watch it.
Yeah. I hope it's eligible tackle end around Trey Pipkins.
Or Carter. Chase Daniel. Throw it up the sideline. Let's go, Jalen Guyton.
Yeah, Guyton looks like a little bit bigger. I don't remember him being.
The weight room?
I don't know. He looks a little bigger. I remember him being a lot slimmer. Maybe I'm just making up stuff.
That was a good route.
No, it was a good throw and catch.
I do kind of see what you're saying. There's something. Maybe he sized up the shoulder pads or something. Like
I don't know. He looks a little bigger. I don't know if he actually is. I mean, I would love for him to be more than just a straight line speed kind of guy. That would be really nice. His speed is really nice. Storm Norton.
I think the thing I'm most excited to see is Donald Parham's first touchdown catch.
Have you guys seen on Twitter all those Raider and Broncos fans and Chiefs fans who bring up that injury all the time? Some Raiders fan today put out a tweet of it was a picture of Donald Parham on the ground after he got concussed, and then with a side-by-side picture of Waller, this is what you expected him to become and this is what he is. It's are you kidding me?
Wow.
But if you made fun of any of their stuff, any of their players getting hurt, anything, they would freaking cry. That's not a cool thing to do, man.
And then they'd report you, Mike.
Yeah, look at no longer banned. I was banned. The theory is asking what we expect offensively and defensively. You're gonna have to be more specific than that, Athir, with the question, because that's the most general question you've asked this far.
Top 2, not 2.
Talking about rankings? Maybe he's talking about rankings.
Top 2, not 2.
I'm sorry. I blanked out on the question you had earlier. I did just catch a decent rep from Pipkins on Cam Jordan, which was nice to see.
Yeah.
What was the question? Who are you most excited to see in week 1?
One player you're most excited to see in week 1.
I hope Josh Palmer scores in the end zone that I'm sitting in against the Raiders 1,000,000,000%. That's what I hope. Then they can pan to the only Palmer jersey in the crowd, and I'll be wearing it, and I will represent him proudly. I think though, for defensive reasons, just to see it, it's probably Sebastian Joseph Day, because I really think he's going to play big dividends for not only in the run game, but if there is a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter, whatever Carr brother is the quarterback there is going to have to try and step up. And I think that's going to give him an opportunity to have a big sack, and the crowd will go nuts because he's already like a fan favorite. Mm-hmm. You watch all the social media stuff he does, the mic'd up sessions. He's just a fun person to root for. So I'm excited to get out there and see him and hope he makes some big plays.
I just can't wait, man.
I'm surprised no one said, for me, it's Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack's about to be in a Chargers jersey. It's got to be Khalil Mack. I mean, he was a former Raider, now at Chargers, and Raider fans are still super salty about it and won't let you forget. I'm so excited to see Khalil. I think he's going to be so good. I think people are really overplaying that he's injury prone just because he got injured last year.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude still had 6 sacks in 7 games. He had 35 pressures in those 7 games. I mean, he was really, really good last year, and people are just forgetting it. And he gets Joey Bosa on the other side. So they're going to be a deadly combo.
Yeah.
And then on offense, I mean, for me, it would have been Spiller, but it seems like Spiller's going to be hurt now. So I don't know.
Everett, you got to go Gerald Everett. If we're talking just new additions, I think that's a fun one, even if he's only getting 4 or 5 targets a game.
He's definitely going to add some juice on the inside there, where Cook was playing last year. That's what the thing is. Like, we were talking to Joe on the AFC West preview. By the way, it dropped on the MJT YouTube channel. If any of you Chargers fans want to go watch it, dropped today. But we were talking to Joe about it, and Joe was like, "Oh, you guys think that you just get Khalil Mack and J.C. Jackson, everything's fixed?" And it's like, you're missing like a list of like 10 other guys that we added to this team.
That's been a whole narrative, I think, for the last couple of weeks. I've seen it all over TikTok, all over the ESPN radio, all over NFL Network. I saw a few videos of this clip of Keyshawn Johnson talking, and he's saying, I think the Chargers are getting overhyped. They think they're going to go to the Super Bowl just because of Justin Herbert. And I'm like, while he's a big part of that you're putting this way out of context, because we are thinking that we're a Super Bowl contender because we fixed almost every single problem we had.
Oh, man.
And we fixed it with elite players.
Yes.
It wasn't like we just fixed it with like these no-names. All pros came in to fill those spots.
Hey, everything I said about Josh Kelly like 10 minutes ago can go in. He looks way better.
We'll edit it out. Don't worry. In post, we'll take
No,
it.
it's okay. So my biggest pet peeve as a Chargers fan, as just an NFL fan in general, is I hate long draws. Oh, so now you just saw it.
What is he doing? I like it though.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so I'm
He's
quite a
done
bit
that
ahead
a
of you.
couple times in his career too. He likes hurdling.
I'll
go low on Kelly.
I hate 3rd and long draws so much. I hate when they do that. It feels like just giving up on drives. And good for Kelly for turning it into a first down.
Yeah, especially in this part of the field. Like, I understand it if you're backed up and so you don't want to make a mistake. Let's just play a field position. But on the 30,
I hate
we're
that
trying
play.
to score. We're trying to score here.
You
I
might
think they were trying to get Hopkins a long rep.
Oh, Kelly's juiced up right now. He's not going out of bounds when he hits the sideline either. He's ready. He's ready. Woo! He got up. He did like 3 steps in the air before he came back down to the ground. 1, 2. It was 3.
I don't even know who that is. The linebacker. They're playing their starters still, because I saw Davis, Tyrann Mathieu. I don't know who that linebacker is though. Number 6.
He just got busted blitzing.
The one thing I wanted to say though, when you guys were talking about like what Keyshawn and all these people talk about, is the general media, which I love, and I'm from that generation, so I still like it. Mm-hmm. But there is a huge flaw in it where they only talk about the surface level shit. They're like, Khalil Mack's bringing him a championship. But then they don't look at the value adds of Morgan Fox and Kyle Van Noy and Sebastian Joseph Day and Austin Johnson. Like, of all the things that they tried to address to bring in people that fit Staley's scheme, where he was part of a number 1 ranked defense in Chicago, the number 1 ranked defense in LA, like he needed to get pieces in that helped fit that. And that's the overhaul they did this year. But they don't talk about that. They just go Khalil Mack, because that's all they're doing. They're just trying to sell commercials.
Yeah.
So like they're just going to talk about the surface level shit. And then later in the year, you'll get the people that'll go, this addition they made of whatever player they brought in the offseason is really standing out. But right now, they're just trying to get to the next commercial break so they can sell more Mercedes-Benz or Coca-Cola or whatever the fuck they're hawking on there. They don't really care.
Yeah.
Jalen Guyton jump ball, huh?
Come on.
Yeah, that's my second play I hate so much. Goal line fade. I hate that play.
Oh, but goal line fade is fun.
I
love
goal line fade.
You gotta do it to the right person though.
No, did you know there's not even a right person? You know, no wide receiver in NFL history is 50% on goal line fades. No NFL
Calvin
receiver
Johnson has to be
was
close.
not.
You got to be like 49.8.
No, so he was like 45. Do you guys know Arjun, who works for
I do know him. I do know him, but
yeah, so he works for PFF. He charted because he wanted to prove that Mike Williams isn't basically, you shouldn't throw goal line fades even if it's Mike Williams, because they keep talking about that. And Mike Williams is 25% on goal line fades basically.
But when I go Calvin Johnson's got to be close to that, and then you go 45%. You make it seem like I'm
close.
way off.
No, you're right. You're right. No, but
Okay.
he is the highest. He is the highest.
I don't think that every jump ball is created equal.
No, they're not. I hate goal line fades. Just get more creative with it.
You
I just don't like the idea.
With the small DB is different
Come
than
on,
getting matched up with the big DB. I like goal line fades on first and second down.
Well, maybe I just have a bad taste in my mouth from it was Broncos 2020 where they threw that 30-yard goal line fade to Mike Williams and Bryce Callahan outjumped Mike Williams and got the pick on an underthrown ball. I've had a bad taste in my mouth ever since.
Well, I'm not talking about 30-yard goal line fades. I'm talking about from like inside the 5-yard line, just throw a jump ball. Yeah, that's what we're talking about, right? Like the 50% thing is for like inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, so it's within the 10-yard line.
Okay.
Mike,
but I just always think about that play.
You missed the animation.
Oh, shoot. We scored a touchdown, guys. We scored a touchdown.
Touchdown, Chargers.
First time playing into the season here on Nuts and Bolts because last week we missed the only touchdown that they scored.
Well, I was so excited that it was Palmer. We just got sidetracked.
Yeah, we were hyped. Joker Wild in the house. What's up, Joker? Everyone who is tuned in, we appreciate y'all. Please, well, except for the silver and black allegiance, you leave. But everyone else, we appreciate y'all. Please subscribe, like the video, and help us out in this algorithm. Touchdown from Ball here. Joker, you came just in time for the touchdown. And the Chargers' third stringers and practice squad team is now only down by 7 to the Saints starters.
So, okay, Ethan, what is the highest percentage play? Because a lot of times young people do this now where they point out only negative things. What is the positive play? What is the play call that should be done if it's not a goal line fade? Like, did he say, oh, this is that? Because every team's different. Like, if you have a mobile quarterback, then maybe there are things that have a higher option. But if you have Matt Ryan or something like that, like, and you have Julio Jones or you have Matt Stafford, Calvin Johnson back in the day, like, is any of this in the breakdown, or is it all just don't throw this play because it's a bad percentage? Numbers. Like, what's the argument here? What are we working with?
Oh, I totally understand where you're coming from. It's just I think the fade. The reason is when you have Justin Herbert, he can make multiple reads. So don't just make a play that you designed for one read, and if it doesn't work, then the play's dead.
I agree with that 100%.
So if we're playing in the red zone with Herbert, you should be running RPOs almost every single play, in my opinion. I think you should be giving him the option of he can hand it off, watch the defense, and then make multiple reads. I think that's what makes Herbert so special, and he can fit it in on a needle anywhere into the end zone. Yeah. So in my opinion, a goal line fade takes away all of his ability. Yes, he can put the ball there, but same can Mac Jones, same can Kirk Cousins. Use his ability to what makes him special, in my opinion.
You should have said Tua because he's the most accurate quarterback in the league. I don't know if you saw that.
I've seen it.
Yeah, you've heard. Tyreek.
I mean, Tyreek's just gassing up his guy. I mean, Devontae Adams doing the same thing with Derek Carr, but Derek Carr's better than Tua, so people don't talk about it as much. But Devontae's saying the same stuff. Devontae called him a Hall of Famer like 3 weeks ago.
And then he backtracked, but then went back on again and was like, but I want to clarify, why isn't his career Hall of Fame worthy? Well, because it's not. It's not even close.
If I was a worse person, I would tweet at Cam Jordan because he said some stuff this offseason about the Chargers and facing this offense and whatever. And his first team defense just gave up a touchdown to Chase Daniels and the second and third string Chargers offense, which that was a pretty impressive drive.
And one of their boys got hurdled.
We got to find out what his name
is. Another guy got routed up by Jalen Guyton.
Hey, can I ask, the silver and black allegiance guy, When did any of us say Charger fans don't care about weeks 1 through 4? I don't think any of us said that the first Raiders game or the Chiefs game don't matter. I think we all acknowledge that weeks 1 through 4 matter. I don't know what your point is.
Weeks 1 and 2 are the two most important weeks early in the season.
Yeah, I mean, the rest of after that, our schedule gets really easy. It's those first 2 weeks that we need to win. I don't think any of us would say that those weeks don't matter.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, I think we've hyped them up so much because the idea of beating the Raiders week 1 is like salivating.
Yeah, I know, right? I didn't even know that the Raiders are playing right now. So aren't there Raiders streams and Raiders stuff going on? Y'all have a whole nation and shit. Like, go be with them.
Oh wow,
we're doing good.
It's someone in the chat said that. It wasn't one of us. Oh,
everyone in the chat say FTR. Here we go. Get it going. Drown this noise out. I know who's behind the Silver and Black Allegiance profile too. Look at who's on the screen. He's got a caveman beard or something going on here. It's just scruffy. Here we go. We got him coming. FTR. Here's some more. He doesn't even have a response.
They're doing everybody's bringing them.
Here, I got a question for you. What would be more satisfying? A blowout win against the Raiders in week 1 or a close nail biter to where we kick a last-minute field goal?
73-0.
Oh, what?
I want to win by 10.
Did he catch that?
Wait, you want to win by 10?
Me?
I want to win by 10 or more.
Okay. I would like to win by like. I think I would like to win by like 3 touchdowns, just so it's.
Holy smoke!
No, that's live.
What the hell?
That is not a catch.
What the hell is that?
I'm ahead of you guys. It doesn't hit the ground.
That's a touchdown?
I think so. It doesn't hit the ground.
That's a forward lateral or something then.
They just called it 4th down, though.
I know, but if they review it, I assume the ball doesn't hit the ground. No, it's a touchdown, I think. The Saints are celebrating now.
Oh, get out. The luckiest bullshit.
Not only do they have freaking Marquez Callaway, one of their better receivers on the field, they also are getting lucky. You can watch it on my phone. This is almost over. We're only live for like another maybe 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, it's under review.
Wow.
They're celebrating.
I don't know if you guys have gotten there, but I'm pretty sure that ball does not hit the ground.
I didn't see it hit the ground.
Right. I didn't see it hit the ground. The Smith guy, whatever his first name is, Trey Smith, it just gets under his hand and it pops up.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even throw it. It's like a lucky bounce off the turf and it goes right to Callaway.
Right between 2 Chargers defenders, too.
Yeah, any one of our guys could have grabbed that. Any one of our guys could have bounced right into their hands. Look at JT Woods was right there again. This man needs his damn interception.
Yeah.
That was pretty crazy.
Yep.
I officially have too many names in my head to keep track of NFL players at this point in my life. I cannot think of this guy's first name. Traquan? No. Something Smith. It's a hyphenated first name, right?
I don't remember his name at all.
Trey. Damn it. What is this? What am I missing?
Number 10?
It looked like it didn't hit the ground. Yeah, I don't think it hit the ground. Yeah, number 10 on the Saints.
Yes, it's Traquan.
Joker saying that despite Carr being in the league for almost a decade now, him and Justin Herbert have the same amount of playoff wins.
Why is it a good thing?
Wait, you muted again, Ethan.
Oh, sorry. I got up because I need to charge my computer. As much as I like that point, if we're going to stand by playoff wins don't matter, we really shouldn't use it against other quarterbacks.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if playoff wins don't matter, then playoff appearances don't matter, and none of it matters.
No, none of it matters.
Might as well just not even play the season.
The only thing that matters is passing yards.
What's your
Joe has Herbert overrated in this chat, but he had Herbert ranked top 5 when I talked to him about it. So I'm a little confused.
Thanks.
A little confused. Arizona, Chargers, Buffalo. What is this? Athir, what are you talking about?
Hey, what's up, Leland?
Cardinals, Chargers, Bills, Bucks, Raiders, Green Bay.
Tua drafted before Herbert tells you something. Tells me what?
There's no reason to go at it with him. That's why I've been ignoring him.
I
There's
know.
no reason.
What does it say that Tom Brady's a 6th-round quarterback, or that your quarterback is a 2nd-round quarterback? A bunch of people were drafted before them.
Oh, here it is right here. I'm just here to troll Chargers fans, all 4 of them. Even though we have 20 viewers in here right now that are also Chargers fans. Why don't you watch the Raider game? Watch the Raider game.
It's okay.
Who's broken 2-4?
Oh, they took the touchdown back.
Oh, what's up, broken?
That's Leland. He's
Leland.
He's a big supporter.
Oh, appreciate
What's up,
that, Leland.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
tuning in. Be sure to subscribe, like the video. Everyone tuned in, by the way.
He's a Seattle fan. He's a Seahawks fan.
We do a weekly show typically. We're just doing the watch parties for the preseasons.
Leland, just for this year, why don't you be a Chargers fan? It'll be more fun. I mean, I'm not saying permanently leave the Seahawks, but turn the game off at halftime, keep your sanity, and just watch the Charger games. It'll be more fun.
Problems all solved.
Hey, they have Uchenna Nwosu. They have someone.
They do.
For. He's
a little
fun.
crossover.
Did they say why that wasn't a touchdown? I didn't hear it.
I didn't hear it either.
It's probably because they said forward progress stopped because everyone gave up on the play. A whistle might have been blown.
Oh, well.
That would be my guess. I don't have the sound on.
They gave the first down still. So they counted it as a catch and then couldn't advance the ball from there because you can't. If you call it an incomplete pass, you can't count the touchdown.
Watch the Raiders fans start crying about the whistle that blew in the Bengals game as if it would have made a difference. It
made zero difference.
No, the best that brings up about that Bengals game is that Derek Carr, their elite quarterback, on a 4th with 6 seconds left, he threw it not even in the end zone.
96, Fehoko. It's like his 3rd TFL of the preseason.
The first guy there though is Kemp. That's nice penetration on that play right there. Fajoko's making the team.
I don't. Who are they going to cut? Who are they going to cut? Covington?
Fajoko's. He can't be cut. One, because I'm too big of a fan of him, and everybody loves him. He's a great locker room guy, and you got to have people like that on game.
I know, but then you got to cut one of those veterans because you're not going to cut Tito because he was just a draft pick. You're not going to cut Morgan Fox because he looked really good. You're not going to cut. I mean, you could cut Covington or you cut Tillery.
Yeah, so Covington, maybe he needs to get more mic time then. Maybe he needs to show more personality, and then I'd be cheering for him. That's all I'm saying. Give me a little more.
He needs to go to practice and ask to be
Wait, who said Kansas City has an easy early schedule? Have you ever looked at that schedule?
It's brutal.
The Kansas City Chiefs have probably the hardest schedule in the entire league.
Yeah.
Like their first 8 games are against all teams that were over 500, right? From what I remember.
I think so. And even like there's a couple of it starts off really bad, like you said. It's like 7 or 8 weeks in a row where I think all the teams on there could go to the playoffs. And then there's like another stretch later in the season, like 5 games in a row, where it's AFC West opponents and other first place. It's just brutal, their schedule.
Do you want to hear a bold prediction about the Chiefs?
Let's hear it.
I think they're going to start really bad. I think they're going to start like 3-5 because everyone talks about their defense is improved because of rookie players, but all of them are at positions that it takes time to adjust to. So they're going to be playing brutal teams in the beginning that are going to abuse those young players. While I think they'll be good in the long run and probably by the second half hit their stride, I think that defense is going to get beat up upon early season just because like corners have basically zero transition into the NFL. I mean, you saw Asante Samuel last year. The only one I can think of that's been really good out of the gate is Patrick Surtain recently. It takes a while for corners.
And and they don't need someone to come out and be great. They need someone to come out and be elite. They need to go and replace guys that like Tyrann Mathieu that are, if they have success in New Orleans, might be on their way to the freaking Hall of Fame. These guys are not like slouches. Tyreek Hill's not no slouch just walked away from this team. I ask Chiefs fans all the time, how do you feel about Seattle's defense? They got a bunch of rookies playing. Shouldn't they be just as excited about their defense as the Kansas City Chiefs are about their defense? They're not. It's just because they're the Chiefs. And they just want to make things up. It's like all of a sudden now it's better to have a bunch of rookies starting on your defense. What?
So
you don't want that. You want like one here, one there in spots that you really need them. But for the most part, you want your rookies developing.
But this is the way I look at it. We haven't seen the defense on the field yet. The Justin Reed, the guy the safety they got from the Texans, solid player. We don't know like how much of a drop off that is from what we saw of Don't think of Tyrann Mathieu 3 years ago. Think about it right now. Then on top of it, I can't think of the linebacker's name they had.
Leo Chenal. Who they used to have? That's who they drafted.
Second year, the kid that was running around.
Nick Bolton.
The kid who's running around making all the plays sideline to sideline last year. And then I don't think necessarily the transition at pass rusher is that bad because Karlaftis, he's going to get a lot of one-on-ones because you're looking more Frank Clark, Chris Jones. I'm not saying he's going to have Micah Parsons' year with 13 sacks or whatever. I just don't think it's going to be as bad. And everybody's trying to bury the Chiefs. It's still Andy Reid. It's still Patrick Mahomes. And there's the second-place team in the AFC West, basically. I beg to argue that I don't think that Justin Reid is really that great. Okay.
I don't know. What has he done? He hasn't done shit. He hasn't done anything in his career so far except for being on one of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah, but then you love Deshaun Watson as a quarterback who was 4-12 on that same team. Like you can't be like, this guy's a world beater and great, but then the guy on defense is ass.
No, but Deshaun Watson made Pro Bowls, all pros, balled out, had crazy stats. Justin Reid has done nothing. Zero. He's just a guy that wore a cool jersey number 20. That's it. That's all he's done.
That was a horrible screen.
Like they always say, like he's an upgrade from Tyrann Mathieu, and I'm like, for why? What is he better at than Tyrann Mathieu?
No, I'm not saying upgrade. I'm saying where Tyrann Mathieu was at last year. Because even we watched some of the games where it's like, oh, Tyrann doesn't do what he used to do in that defense.
I think they started off slow last year too. The Chiefs did.
Tony, I want to clarify. I don't think that their defense is bad. I actually think it's pretty average. I just think with the start at the stretch of the offenses they're playing in the first 8 weeks, I just think those their defense is just going to get beat up upon. What is Chase Daniel doing? Did he get it? Yeah, that's really my take. I still think the Chiefs are winning the division, to be quite honest. I mean, I cannot in good faith not pick the Chiefs to win the division just because they've won it the last 5 years.
You started off so strong.
I know. But that's what I'm saying. I think they're going to start off really bad, but I say this every year. Last year, I thought they were going to be a horrible team, and then they ended up making it to the NFC Championship game. There's something about whatever Mahomes and Andy Reid are cooking up to where I can't in good faith pick anyone to win it. But I would love to be wrong. I would love for this year to be the end. That would be great. Yes.
It will be the end.
Well, we can do this full circle and tie a bow on this thing. It wasn't for Josh Kelly. Would have won the division last year. Freaking Josh Kelly.
They still had to play better. They still had to play better down the stretch. And I think that is one of the conversations that I got in recently was like when they were hiring coaches heading into the last season or whatever it was. Like there was all the coaches being hired and everybody said, what job do you want? And I said, the Chargers job is the best job because you get Justin Herbert. Like Brandon Staley was given a gift. You're a defensive head coach, and all you have to do is come in here and transform the defense to even resemble what it did in your last 2 stops. Like, that's it. So if you can go from 29th to even 6, like, let's say they're just 8, 10. Stop me when I get too low. But if they're number 10, this team wins the AFC.
We need Herbert to continue developing, and we need the defense to be top 15, and we're there.
Again, I would love to think that way, but there's been plenty of good teams that haven't won the AFC. The Bills last year. The Bills were by far the best team in the playoffs last year, and they didn't make it out of the second round.
And we need good special teams play.
They should have won.
Was just brutal luck.
They actually had to have a rule change. That's how much they should have won.
I mean, I agree, but that's how the NFL is. Sometimes you just get unlucky.
Go, Andy, go!
True. A big part, like 70% of winning the Super Bowl is in your regular season and in the playoffs. Like 30% is in luck.
Yeah.
You need the ball to bounce your way sometimes.
Ask the Bengals.
Well,
need help.
I think there's a certain amount of luck, but Tom Brady kind of kills that theory.
I don't know. Ask the Saints. Ask the Saints about their Super Bowl chances. They got screwed on multiple different plays and multiple different playoffs en routes to the Super Bowl.
Well, that was about Bountygate when they went after my boy Favre's leg.
Oh, wow.
They were trying to rip his ankle off of his body.
Yeah, and then freaking the same thing happened in the USFL, Tony. They targeted my man Cookus. Took him out the game, body slammed him, broke both his legs.
USFL scandal broken by NFL Mike?
Exactly.
Is this the scoop here?
Cookus came out that game with a broken leg and concussion and broken fingers, all kinds of crazy stuff.
I had no idea it was that dirty over there in the USFL.
Also, I really hope Josh Kelly looks like this in the regular season.
I know, right? This guy's looking great right now.
Oh my gosh. You're about to see his best run of the day, and it's for 5 yards.
He's right now.
My last tweet before the game was, I just want to see Josh Kelly run aggressive. And he's doing that because he's going to be the RB2. We haven't seen enough from Isaiah Spiller where I think that Staley's going to say, oh, yeah, you're going to be we're putting in a rookie in there more than we're going to put in this guy.
He probably saw your tweet.
Yes.
He did see the tweet because he is going nuts right now.
Oh, wow.
He's got a flag.
You see what I said? I was like, it's the 5-yard run. It was stuffed in the backfield. He somehow made a move and got a first down. I mean, it's called back for penalties, but
his hesitation finally worked in his favor because I think that's one of my biggest complaints is that he hasn't run with like enough purpose. Even if there's not a hole, like you can't just be like, oh, is there something there? No, the play was designed to go this way. There's nothing there. You just try and smash forward. Instead, he would get tackled for no gains and losses too much.
I mean, he honestly just lacks decision making. In the past, he just lacked decision making. His decision was always just sit there and just wait for it to develop, which never happened because he's not fast enough to do that.
If you're going to lack decision making, you have to have Barry Sanders level talent. Like you have to be that shifty and quick and be able to do something where you're like
Larry Roundtree's even getting in here. You're about to see a nice shifty run from him.
Our O-line's having their best game of the preseason right now. Too.
Yeah, but
this will be his third good run.
Man, maybe I need to publicly talk more smack about him.
No. Before every game, we're gonna have the Ethan trash talk session here on Nuts and Bolts, where he just comes in. He's like,
"Oh, I just saw that run too. Good run by Roundtree.
See, it's nice. It's a nice little juke step.
Oh wow!
Hell yeah, here breaking ankles.
That was a full-on Chris Berman whop right there. That was when he
nice.
Cuts back.
I don't know what is arguments with the Raiders. The one Raiders fan that doesn't want to watch his own team. Drew Lock better. Is Geno Smith's season there in Seattle broken 24K?
Oh, there's Joe. What's your opinion of Lombardi? I don't know if I know you guys' opinion. What's the opinion of Lombardi? If you were to rate him out, Joe Lombardi.
I think he's gonna be head coach after this season because I think back-to-back years where this offense is going to go crazy. There's a deep playoff run, and I think somebody like Carolina reaches out and says, hey, what's up? You know the division. You spent some time with the Saints. Your grandpa was pretty good at this thing. Let's why don't you try the trench coat on, put a hat on, come over here and coach in Carolina. You know what I'm saying?
More of the question I'm asking, what do you like do you like the offense?
I do. I love the offense. Well, I think that sometimes they'll be a little bit too patient, and they'll be running game script into like the early second quarter and stuff. But when he lets Herbert go, he lets Herbert go. I like that the offense this year, and it wasn't like this with Anthony Lynn, that they set plays up. It's not so much just let's just call the play and hope for the best. Lombardi will set stuff up in the first and second quarter for the second half. So I like seeing that. I think Lombardi's a good offensive line, and you can't argue with 5,000-yard passing season last year and all of our players just putting up crazy numbers.
Well, some of those numbers I think came out of necessity from bad defense. I guess I kind of get the point you're getting at, Ethan, is that
I'm a huge Lombardi fan. I just know a lot of Chargers hate Lombardi.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, asking this question in general is like what you're getting at is some of the stuff Mike and I have talked about privately where we get frustrated, where it's like it feels a little conservative sometimes when you have somebody who has the ability of Justin Herbert. So I see the argument both ways, but overall I tend to think like it's been successful everywhere. And once Herbert can get to the point where his pre-snap stuff is as good or on the level of Drew Brees, then it's fine. Then it's on another level because a good quarterback takes what's there. And then when he gets to the line, he can call an audible and put his team in the perfect position to score a touchdown.
Yeah. Lombardi has his hand, I think, in like 30% of the NFL's history of 5,000-yard passing seasons now. And with 3 different quarterbacks, Brees, Matthew Stafford, and Herbie.
I was hesitant on Lombardi early in the year. It seemed, like you guys said, it seemed really conservative, and it still does seem conservative at times. But it seemed like most of the time early in the year last year, he wasn't really letting Herbert air the ball out down the field. And Herbert excels airing the ball out down the field. He can throw that ball on a rope to anybody, anywhere on the field. And so it was a little frustrating early in the season, but like you said, I'm a fan now.
I want to see better management of the substitutions this year in situations. I don't want to, we keep going back to Kelly, but it would happen with Guyton. Guyton would be getting trusted on 4th and 2 or something with a slant, or, I want to go to our guys in those big moments. I don't want to go to the second stringers.
So about Lombardi, this has been my biggest knock, and I've never said it publicly. The reason I love his offense is because it's so efficient. I get that people want to see big plays, but big plays don't win games. Being efficient and controlling the ball wins. And I think the reason that people hated Lombardi last year is because there was no second running back. You had to rely on Austin Eckler every single play. And so you got put into these horrible situations where you had to run Josh Kelly on multiple 4th downs because Eckler was gassed from the entire drive. There was no one that could take the load off. Also, for the guy that says I'm not a Chargers fan because I picked the Chiefs, I'm still a Chargers fan. I'm just being realistic.
Well, I just want to say that then that kind of the idea of what you love about and what you say wins games with Lombardi and the Chargers offense, that's kind of the opposite of what the Chiefs have been doing for the past couple of years and what they did to beat the Bills in that game and devastate them. Like, I think there's no one right answer where it's like you need to be fully conservative or this. When you have somebody who can do everything, that's when you have somebody who can recognize to take advantage of the big play. That's it. The person on the field has to be able to digest what is being put in front, like what is being given to them and what's in front of them when they get to the field. When they get to elite level. When you get to elite level of that,
you got to telegraph a little too. You got to set them up.
If we're being honest, Phil's ability was a little run down towards the end. He did a lot more stuff on the intelligence and the experience than he did on his ability to still be able to be the same guy that he was in 2006 to 2016, like that 10-year span. Like Peyton Manning did the same thing. You get to a point where you're just smarter than everybody and you've seen everything. That's why Brady will win 11 games this year at 45 years old. He's like playing beginner level Sudoku.
I still remember that one. I think it was a top 100 clip back in the day. I don't remember exactly what clip. It was J.J. Watt talking, though. And he was talking about how Phillip Rivers told J.J. Watt he was in the wrong spot. And J.J. Watt was like, "You're right."
That's some classic Phil stuff there. You can catch it on Mic'd Up.
He's one of the best ever on Mic'd Up. He is so funny.
We got a Saints fan in the house. Just subscribe. Thank you for that. I like that profile pic. Got Jarvis Landry in the NOLA uniforms here. Appreciate you. And anyone else out there, Chargers fan or not, if you guys want to hear us talk Chargers football, we will be all season long. Feel free to subscribe to the channel, like the video. We usually do a weekly show, but the last 2 weeks we've been watching these preseason games, at least the first half of it. And we're going to do it again here. We got a couple minutes left in the first half. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. That's out there right now. Especially you, Athir. Especially you. And by the way, I picked the Chiefs to win the division last year. So leave us alone, Athir. And I was right. Not happily right. Angrily right.
Here's my big question to you guys. What player do you think, outside of Justin Herbert, what player do you think has to perform at an elite level for the Chargers to meet expectations?
I feel like there's a few, right?
Single guy?
Yeah, one of them.
I would say one guy. Who do you think is the one X factor outside of Herbert that you think the Chargers need to have an elite season from?
I think the next most important player this year for us, and most important player to be healthy is Joey Bosa.
I have so many opinions and thoughts on what the answer should be,
Yeah.
right? Because it's almost just like, well, the run defense was so terrible last year. Do we need it to be SJD or Austin Johnson or somebody of that is just like dominating in the run game?
Joey Bosa is still an answer for that too, Tony. Come on, agree with me.
I think it's Derwin James, and he has elite seasons every time he's on the field. But there has been those past couple of years before last year where he wasn't on the field, and you guys saw what happened when he wasn't on the field.
The correct answer is Troy Reader. There it is. Next.
It's Kenneth Murray.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's just such a team game. That is that's a tough one. Maybe Pipkins, right? If he's the right tackle, then that makes Justin Herbert even that much better.
I don't even think
Trey McKitty showing off the one-hander.
There's no way Pipkins is elite. I'm sorry.
So for me, what I would have.
I'm sorry. Where'd it go?
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for Pipkins.
Is he back there? What are you
back there? My Herbert jersey's falling down. I got the fan blowing. It's 115 in the garage. But Trey McKitty said, "I don't only fly planes. I make one-handed catches in the NFL." That was fantastic, right there. Way to go!
I'm actually surprised you didn't say this player because this was who I thought of when asking the question. For me, it's Rashawn Slater. I think Rashawn Slater has got to be just as elite as he was last year for the Chargers to be successful. Because Trey Pipkins is going to be average, and so if Slater isn't, your tackles aren't kind of there.
The real D-Hop.
I like Ethan. I'm a big fan of that because he really does. Like, he had a fantastic year last year, but it's going to be the same thing because our expectation level is this. So if it even comes down a little bit, we feel like, whoa, are you slipping or whatever? But I don't think so. He seems to be great, right mindset, right everything, like attitude, work ethic, whatever. Like, couldn't be happier for him to be the left tackle. A few weeks ago, Ethan, somebody said, "Oh, when do you think Rashawn Slater will be considered a franchise left tackle?" And me and Mike were like, "Last year, like week of last year, like I don't know what else he needed to do. He was an All-Pro last season, so like." There's no way he'd have to be devastatingly bad not to get a second contract with the Chargers after what we've seen from him to this point.
Totally agree. I mean, it'd be like saying that Jamar Chase isn't a franchise player yet, or Micah Parsons isn't a franchise player just because they played 1 year in the league. But I mean, they're all elite.
Both those guys are already cornerstones.
Those owners would give them extensions right now if they could. All of those guys, they'd be like, "Hey, how long do you want to be here?"
Let's fill in the blank here.
You're going to see Keenan Allen out of the slot most of the year?
Yeah.
I hope so.
What kind of numbers are you expecting from him? You expecting some 2017 numbers?
I'm expecting the same thing he's been doing. The offense is too loaded up, and even with Josh Palmer's emergence, even more loaded up. I think we're going to see similar numbers out of Keenan for the rest of his time putting up numbers, I should say. I won't say his career. So obviously will be a dip off eventually, but I think it'll be similar. He's going to be similar. He's going to be close to 100 catches. He's going to be over 1,000 yards. He's going to be there.
I hope we sweep the Chiefs. I hope that happens. That would be awesome, but dang it.
Them last year.
I
got salt in my mouth.
I think we're about to see Mike Williams' best year, where everybody's going to go, wait, why did this take 6 years to get here?
I was just going to bring that up. Me and my brother were talking today, and listen to these first 3 years by wide receiver A. His first, second, and third year, 38, 50, 75 catches, 400 yards the first 2 years, 1,000 the third year, right? Then he drops off in the fourth year with 800 yards. And then the next year he comes out with 1,400 yards and 13 touchdowns.
Holy cow.
That is Devontae Adams.
Okay.
Mike Williams' first 3 years, 95 yards on 11 catches. Then he jumps up to 600. Then he goes to 1,000 in his third year. And then he drops back down right around 800. And then this past year, he had 9 touchdowns and 1,100 yards. It's a very similar path.
Yeah, I think Mike will have a big year, but even if he has a big year, like last year was a big year for him, I still see Keenan putting up what Keenan does. Maybe his catches go down to 90, 85.
I would book, if you were betting on it, I think Keenan's easily going to have the over on 100 receptions this year. Probably. I just think his yards per reception is going to go down.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The thing with Mike, what we saw last year, and I think what led to kind of an abnormal number of drops, at least I hope so. Like, I feel like he dropped the ball a lot last year. But I think just the expansion and what they were asking him to do, especially those plays at the goal line, like they were running him on other stuff where it was like he was hitting little slants at the goal line and then the ball was coming in too hot or he wasn't quite ready or used to it or whatever. Like, I just think that there's a higher rate of succession being a second year, just a part of this whole entire system. Like it has to function better. He's the prime of his career. He's not thinking about whether or not I'm going to get paid. He's just going out there and he's just going to, I think he's going to go nuts this year.
I think it's also good for him that he's seeing J.C. Jackson in practice every day now. It's going to help him with his skills and teach him. He's going to be got to be a little bit more creative against those corners that are higher level, like Pat Surtain maybe when we see them.
Don't forget about Nate Hobbs.
Don't get me started.
Oh, where you at? Allegiance?
Yeah, where you at? Where are you at now? Actually, don't bring him back. Ian Book is just letting him rip here, trying to get his team into field goal range.
He's having his Blaine Gabbert moment.
Mon Hall is on the ground, and the referees are not stopping the play. Jesus. There we go.
Okay, yeah, Ethan, you seem to have a lot of knowledge, and I have a lot of questions. And you may not know about this, but if you're close to Arjun, he seems to be people who know. You could ask him for me. How does this work? When they cut to 53, does every player from the 80 to 53 that they cut, are they just open on waivers, or can they protect some of those players, or do you know how that works?
Yeah,
how does it happen?
I'm happy to explain it to you. So basically on Tuesday, they'll trim the roster to 53.
Okay.
And so the whatever, I think it's 20, I mean, it must be 33 players, all go on open waivers, unless if you are a veteran over 5 years of service, then you become a free agent. So these guys on waivers, so most of these young players, they'll go on to waivers, and teams have 24 hours to put in a waiver claim. And so if they make a waiver claim, they have to make a corresponding move to get rid of a player. So if you've ever heard somebody talk about protecting a player on the 53 to cut later, what that means is there'll be the initial cut where all these guys will go on to waivers. So teams will know who they're cutting to bring on new players. And so you would stash your guy on the 53, wait about 1 or 2 days, then cut him. because teams have already made all their personnel decisions. And then you could bring whoever you want back. And then they would go on to waivers same way for 24 hours, but teams have already solidified their roster. So they're less likely to pick up a player 1 or 2 days later. So that's what the Chargers are probably going to do with Bandy, to be quite honest.
So he'll be on the initial 53, but then what they'll do is they'll bring in a veteran at some position or something like that. And then he'll go back to practice squad most weeks as long as there's no injuries.
Pretty much. Yeah. So as long as he isn't picked up after that next wave, every team has 24 hours. And how the NFL did it is when they expanded the practice squad, they gave each team 5 practice squad, basically designations to where you can protect that player every week. But if you're not one of those 5 players, then you can be picked up by any team at any time. You're basically an open free agent.
And because that allows them to protect rookies from that class that they maybe want. Like, let's say like a Jasir Taylor this year. Tito, I would assume, is going to be. Because to be honest, I'm excited about Tito, but like he hasn't done enough where I'm going to be like, oh, we got to get him in the game. You know, like I haven't seen that type of play in the preseason.
No, for sure. So they won't cut him because that's a player that another team would probably pick up. So you have to think about it as players that teams would likely pick up. Just because he's a recent draft pick, you're probably going to take a chance on a player like that. So you want to do it with guys who you think are fringe that a team might pick up. Like Bandy, I think would be picked up by another team, but the Chargers might view it another way. Like Mark Webb is probably the best right now of like, he's been hurt a lot, but he was a recent 7th round pick. Staley loves him. But if you cut him, he might be able to sneak through waivers because one team might not want to give up a spot on their fit, get rid of someone to bring him on.
Yeah.
So you could kind of do it that way of you cut him, hope he makes it through waivers, and then he goes on to your practice squad. Is probably we're going to have to do that with a couple players. Like it'll probably happen like Joe Gaziano. Braden Fajoko might be one if he doesn't make the initial 53. Michael Bandy, Mark Webb. Those are the kind of guys, those like fringe players to where you'll see guys make the roster initially. This happened with Keemon Hall last year. Keemon Hall made the initial 53. They waited till Wednesday, so one day afterwards, and then cut him for Eric Banks. And then so he was in the 2nd round. No one picked him up, so then he came onto the practice squad. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. It makes perfect sense. That's what I've always been curious about. Like, how does it work so that, like, I want to make sure that I get to keep the guys that I want that are future guys, but their real application is going to be whatever. Because when I look at who's still available as, like, free agents, I look at some guys where I'm like, this guy could still play a couple years in the NFL. Like, why isn't he signed? Like, worst case scenario is you have to go get some old guy off his couch 2 weeks before the season starts and say, like, hey, we need you for this position or whatever it is.
Like the Cowboys with Andrew Whitworth.
Yeah.
Oh, no. He's not. Yeah. Don't let him successfully get this off.
What? Should I mute him?
Oh, no, he did it.
There you go. Block for 5 minutes. Adios. Anyways, that's going to do it for ours tonight. I'm sorry. I'm overheating. I'm happy that we are in this game still going into the second half for all the second strings and third strings we playing for the Saints also. Although Ian Book, that was a good drive. It's a good 2-minute warning drive right there for him. So we'll see how he is in the second half. I'm assuming he's playing a lot of it. We appreciate everyone for tuning in here. Again, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe. Ethan, let them know where they can find you guys. Obviously, the From the Backseat is right there in the title, but anywhere else they should search you up?
No. I want to start doing some more Chargers stuff. I'm a Chargers fan. As you guys can probably tell, I'm pretty critical on the team. Like, I kind of just tell it how it is. I'm not a homer. I've been a homer before. I get burned every year, so I've kind of learned to be cynical about it. So, yeah, I'm a diehard. I've been a Chargers fan since I was a kid in San Diego. Phillip Rivers is my favorite player of all time. Will probably always and forever be, but I just hope this team wins a Super Bowl because then you'll see me become a homer. And big spoiler, if anyone follows me, I'm going to pick the Chargers as my Super Bowl team. So
there we go.
That's what's going to be my hot take on the show this Monday. I think they're going to end up winning the AFC out of the wild card. I have the Chiefs winning the division, but I think the Chargers are inevitably going to get into the playoffs and win the Super Bowl. So, but that's my homer in me. I just think they're a really good team and they're really talented. I just think when it gets to regular season wins, they're going to struggle at times because of how hard the schedule is.
It is a tough schedule for sure. Instant Replay, where can they find you at?
I'm on TikTok, Instagram, both the same handle. I'm way more active on TikTok than Instagram, but I'm trying to get back into Instagram too. But yeah, the same handle.
Bolt up. Tony?
Ditch Instagram, go to Twitter. It's better over there for
I have
Chargers
Twitter.
fans.
It's just not the Instant Replay.
Yeah, just don't even go back to Instagram. It's a dying network.
Oh no, Reels do so well over there. If you're putting up your TikToks on Instagram, do it. We just started doing Reels. They like blow up. We've gotten like 30,000 views on the last like 4 videos we had.
Oh, wow.
I do agree with that. We've had some success on MJT. Ethan, my question for you, and none of this is Chargers related. What I'm saying is that an in and out photo in the background there?
It is. So if you see behind me, so this is in and out this way. This is in and out. It's a painting from a local artist in LA. This is SoFi Stadium, so I have like my sports thing behind me. It's for the Super Bowl. Sadly, it's not the Chargers. And then this is Santa Monica over here.
This is I like this. This is beautiful LA, San Diego things. Wonderful. On that note, Mike, do what you got to do, brother.
I got nothing to do. I don't know why. I ran out of energy here at the end of this live. But we'll see you guys next week. Friday night, we'll be live talking about the Chargers once again as we get ready for the regular season the weekend after that. We'll see all you guys there. Bolt up. Wait, you got anything, Tony?
No,
right.
this is not the text message we just got.
All right.